Hi, my name is MaxZine Weinstein and I'm a gardener. I started gardening at a very young age by following my parents around the garden, and once I became old enough, they gave me little chores I could participate in, such as harvesting cucumbers. That was my very favorite thing to do when I was little. I have some reluctance talking publicly about gardening because I fear that there are too many white male older people already being featured in the media. And I'm a white, queer gardener in the woods of Tennessee. I have access to land and resources to grow food. I like to share what I benefit from, but I'm very aware that I'm in a privileged position as a middle-aged white gardener. This country has stolen land from its original inhabitants and from Black people and people of color in general for centuries. Not everyone has the same access to gardening, and that has got to change. One thing that inspired me to garden was as a high school kid in Iowa, we were more or less surrounded by farms. And I spent a lot of time riding a bicycle out in the countryside and observing what was going on. And it blew my mind in the 1980s to see a transformation that was underway. But the reason I knew something crazy was going on is because I would occasionally see these massive test fields with executives and scientists who were dressed up in suits with leather shoes on, who were being hauled around farms on these open-air trailers pulled by tractors, examining fields. And what I realized was I was witnessing some of the early experiments in biotechnology and food technology that has transformed so much of the planet. And that motivated me as a kid to think a lot about what kind of environment were we creating and what did I want to participate in. And that led me to eventually getting jobs on small organic farms and also gardening. I live in an area in rural Tennessee that is very different than the area in Iowa I'm describing, where in a holler surrounded by hills, there's a creek that runs very close to the gardens, and we're very fortunate to have a very vigorous spring. So when it's dry, there's ample water for irrigating the garden. We grow food year-round. A lot of different vegetables, herbs, flowers. In recent years, I've become more excited about flowers with scents than anything else. So we have brugmansia, night-blooming jasmine, a sweet almond bush. Those are all ones with flowers that give off scents. Then there's a lot of plants that you can just rub against and get an amazing smell, such as lavender or various lemon herbs like lemon verbena. One of my favorite things about gardening are the social and community aspects of gardening. And I love being alone in a garden without other humans around. But I equally love gardening with other people. I find that gardening is about so much more than growing plants and harvesting. It's about weather, the climate, cosmos, and just getting yourself a little more in tune with the bugs, with diseases, with soil, with decomposition of plant and other matter, with working compost into the earth, and with mulching plants with leaves or grass clippings or whatever. All of these things I find to be amazing processes for undoing the damage that a hyper-industrialized society inflicts upon my being. I really enjoy harvesting fresh food and eating it right out in the garden, whether it's a cucumber, a bean, a tomato, anything, a strawberry. That's maybe the best thing about gardening. I also love just looking around at the garden, looking at the colors and textures of plants and flowers. And I love the physical activity. It feels great to be out in the soil, getting dirty, being a part of a cycle of life and death that a garden is.